Charlotte, I think you should go first because yours is simple.
I'm so straight. I'm literally so straight. It hurts.
It hurts.
Like
it does a fucking pole.
Yep, that's me, guys. The pole in the back.
Hey, you're listening to Babes and Bad Decisions. We're babes, we make bad decisions, and we're here to tell you about them. My name's Elaina.
I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Emily. We have never had an episode start so smoothly.
Honestly, yeah, we were setting up and I was like, normally something goes wrong. And I feel like I need to be fixing things right now, but there's nothing to fix.
It's also mostly every time Elaina does the intro, I just like hysterically laugh. Like,
yeah,
every
Charlotte's
time.
really bad.
This time you just came and you're like, I'm Charlotte.
I'm literally, it's finals week.
Hey,
No,
I'm peppy,
it's just
I'm
1 week.
stressed, and I'm having a panic attack. Welcome to
Yeah,
Babes
no,
and Bad Decisions.
Well, what is the topic of this episode?
Today, we're going to be talking about sexuality and expression.
Wow.
But we're going to
Ew.
be talking about different aspects of sexuality. So, the first...
Aspects.
That was disgusting. That was disgusting.
I mean, someone had to make the joke.
I'm trying to be funny.
You're doing great. So the first...
I feel like Elaina is making up for...
I'm not normally the funny one, but I'll try my best this episode.
Yeah, one of you guys has to do something.
We'll do it.
All right. So the first aspect of sexuality is we're going to be talking about sexual orientation. And what comes with that is labels. So obviously you guys know, but in general, there's all different kinds of labels and everyone chooses their labels differently and define those labels differently. So, you know, there's like gay, straight, bi, queer, pan, all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So first, what do you guys label yourselves as?
Charlotte, I think you should go first because yours is simple.
I'm so straight. I'm literally so straight. It hurts.
It
It does
a
hurt.
fucking pole.
Yep, that's me, guys. The pole in the back.
And Elena's about as straight as scoliosis. So
Yeah. I
Wow.
meant to be
So-
straight, but there's a couple curves thrown in there.
That's actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have never so I've always said that I was straight, but now that I'm older and like have thought about it more, I haven't actually been fully straight for a while.
So basically, this is her coming out episode.
She came out a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like I never hid it in any way, but I guess I kind of just always fell under that like stereotype of like, oh, I'm straight, but it's like acceptable for girls to do things with other girls.
Mhm.
So I just like do that. But like thinking back on it, I didn't just do that as a straight person. Like that was me like letting my gay flag fly.
Let your freak flag fly.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
So I guess technically I'm like bisexual, and like I'm lucky enough that I've never had to like officially label myself in a situation, but I guess if I had to, that would be how I do it.
Cool. Yes, I am aggressively bisexual, and I kind of talk about it a lot.
Emily's like on the other spectrum where she's like, I am bisexual.
Well,
Don't you forget it.
And in general, like how I feel about labels is you don't need them. Like people don't need to, in my eyes, and I mean
Yeah.
other people feel differently, but I feel like you don't need to label yourself if you don't want to. But because I went through so much internally of like figuring out who I am and what I liked, that finally coming to that realization of like, no, I like girls and boys and people in between, like that I felt like I had to label myself so that it was real.
Yeah.
Because like it was always this thing in the back of my head of like, you know, some internalized homophobia and like like not that I grew up with people that were outwardly homophobic or anything, but I just felt like I felt more comfortable in who I was and what I wanted and who I was attracted to. So that label kind of solidifies a part of my being. Yeah, my identity. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's super common too.
Yeah. And I mean, you're obviously a lot looser because, like, how do you feel about... Not like that.
Loosey-goosey, baby.
Oh boy.
But, like-
what
like-
did you eat before we recorded this? Elena's
She's
like
high.
jumping up in her seat and she's
Tacos.
Tuesday.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
Tuesday. But how do you feel about labels, like, for yourself?
I guess a part of me does agree with you, because kind of in the same way that I said, like, before I ever had to think about, like, oh, I guess, like, what would I label myself as, it never really felt real. And I think it's also easier, and we can talk about this a little bit later, but I think it comes with like some level of privilege and being able to like enjoy being able to say, like, oh yeah, I've done stuff with girls, I enjoy doing stuff with girls, I find girls hot, but not having to label myself as any sort of gay, because that's easier not to.
Mhm.
Yes, it's true.
Just like in society. But I think yeah, I think labels definitely help, and I think if it's something you're struggling with, like, it can definitely help you figure out everything.
Yeah.
Definitely. So there's a lot of fluidity in sexuality, and obviously people kind of fluctuate. Like, I have a good friend and he is bisexual, but he kind of sees himself going through different periods of like being attracted to men, being attracted to women, and for him, at least in what I've observed, it doesn't seem to really overlap.
Yeah, same.
But how fluid is your sexuality, Charlotte?
I usually just go for the males and always go for the males.
Yeah.
Charlotte's like a glacier.
She's
You're not
cold.
fluid.
Oh.
This is one of those moments where I really wish y'all could see Charlotte's facial
face.
expression.
I feel like this whole episode, just imagine her exasperated, and that's her face. You'll get a pretty good idea.
Whenever we get to like this kind of like stuff and topics, like I feel like Em and Elaina have like, I guess like more experience or more exposure and just like more knowledge on it than I have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it could be like where we grew up and like our friends and everything like that.
For sure.
So I guess I won't have much to say compared to them. So I'm honestly very curious what you guys have to say when it comes to these things.
But like, I do want to make sure that even though you're not like, oh yeah, I'm like all of these things and I have all this to say, but like you saying like, no, I'm pretty aggressively straight is like also a thing, and it's totally fine.
Valid.
So I don't want this to just be like a sexuality if you're gay of any kind. Like you're allowed to be aggressively straight. That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause we'll talk about this a little more later, but we're also going to talk about like sexuality as like expressing your sexuality and not like your sexual orientation, but like how you feel about sex and like all of that. So we're going to talk about that a little later.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question? Remind me.
No, you're good.
Oh, fluidity.
Yes, fluidity.
Glacier. Got it.
Yes. Elaina, what state are you in? Are you gaseous? Are you liquid? Are you solid?
I would say I'm quite fluid. So it's hard because I've never had a relationship with a girl. I've never had like any serious or like drawn out like sexual relationship with a girl. It's kind of just been like things here and there. So I mean, most of those times there were always like relationships with guys happening as well. So I don't know, I would say I'm pretty fluid.
It's a weird way to ask it.
I mean, I guess, or more, well, because then there's a spectrum too, but the spectrum is more like, where do you find yourself falling between like queer and straight? But fluidity is about, to me, it's more about like how loosely you identify, because Elena's like loose, like she she's, I mean, from my experience in what you've described to me about your sexuality, you're definitely more interested in men.
Yes.
But like you think you find yourself sexually attracted to women. But you've also said that you couldn't see yourself being in a romantic relationship with a woman.
Correct.
So that is like a part of her fluidity.
Correct.
And And with mine, I just think people are really hot and I have no self-control. Just kidding. But
is she?
She's not.
But yeah, I just I thought it was strictly one or the other, and then realizing like I can just be attracted to who I want to be attracted to, or who I am attracted to, and also realizing that I'm attracted to non-binary people and everyone in between. So like I guess technically I'm more pan, but I feel like bisexual is just an easier way of expressing that for me.
Yeah.
So my
one that can change in the future.
Yeah.
So like for now.
That's true. All right, and then curiosity. So Elaina and I both have done this. Charlotte, did you ever question your sexuality?
No.
It's interesting though, because I feel like and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like lately you've been more prone to like commenting on girls being hot.
No, yeah.
Or
I hype
like you
them up.
finding them hot. You're like, oh no, she's really fucking hot. Like if I were to ever date a girl, like I think she's really hot. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask, do you feel like that is you being attracted to them, or you being comfortable in your sexuality and being like, I can objectively say that person is attractive?
No, I can objectively say that they're attractive.
Yeah.
I don't ever feel anything when I see their picture, but like I'm not going to not say that they look hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Which I think is important.
Yeah, definitely.
You always got to hype women up on the social feeds.
Women supporting women. Always.
Exactly.
Well, Elaina, you obviously did. But
Yes.
do you remember how old you were and like what you were thinking when you were questioning it?
Honestly, I don't remember like a specific moment. For me, I think it definitely just started out as like more like platonic, just kind of like trying like, oh, I'm gonna kiss this girl, like she's my friend, and then like finding myself in like a little bit more like, I don't want to say like serious sexual instances. And I just found that I was like into them a lot more than I guess I had expected myself to be. Again, and I'm probably going to say this a lot, but I feel like it's like a privilege thing. I never had to like sit down and be like, oh my God, like, am I gay? Like, how do I deal with these feelings? Like, I was just able to just kind of express them and like explore them as they came and as I felt them. And I was lucky enough to like have safe spaces and people to do that with. So
Yeah.
it was definitely like probably sophomore year of high school.
Oh, okay.
As like a short answer.
No. No,
I realized you asked when, and I was like, I never said that.
Well, I also asked you like 3 questions kind of in one.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it was definitely middle school, because I remember thinking like, am I gay? And like laying in bed at night for weeks on end, like just mulling it over in my mind, like, am I gay? I think I'm gay. Like, I don't want to be gay. Like, crying because I'm just like, I was so confused about it. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm just going to put this in a box and I'm going to leave it and deal with it later, because I was like
touch it.
12. Like, I didn't know anything really. I had never had experiences with men or women. Like, I was 12. So, I just remember being scared that I was, but like, and thinking like, well, I want to be with men. And I'm like, now looking back, it's like, okay, well, clearly you're attracted to men.
Right.
Like, and just not understanding that you could do both. And, I don't even know where that came from, because it's not like I'd ever heard my family talk negatively about anyone being gay. Like, my aunt is gay, like my other aunt is gay. Like, no one, people I grew up with came out. Like, it was never a negative thing with my family or the people, like my friends or anything. And I don't even really remember what made me question it. It wasn't like feelings for somebody. I think it was probably just like getting older and like being exposed to it in the media, or like hearing my friends talk about it.
Yeah, because I think middle school is definitely the time where it's like people start, first of all, you learn, I feel like usually in middle school, and for other people it's different times, but I feel like middle school is the time where you're like, oh, like being gay is a thing. and usually middle schoolers don't really know what they're talking about, so like they'll like call people gay as insults and like, you know, just be like, oh, that's so gay, man, and like that's just like a middle schooler thing to do, but like you don't really understand what you're saying. And so I feel like that's like really internalized,
definitely,
like way more than anyone really thinks about.
And I think what made me kind of quote unquote figure it out or like come to terms with how I was feeling, that didn't even happen until like last year. Because I accepted that, and then I slowly started like posting things or like retweeting things, and I never like outwardly said I was. And then we were playing a game of King's Cup with my family at this beach weekend we do every year, and it was like we were playing like never have I ever made out with another woman, and like I put a finger down and my mom goes, what? And I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm bi. And she goes, what?
What a sly way to just slide that in.
But I had definitely talked to my parents about it before, and brought it up being like, well, you guys, because my parents and I weirdly get on topics of like gender identity and sexuality and stuff like that. And I was like, well, you guys know I'm attracted to men and women, right? And my parents had kind of brushed off that comment. Not in like a we don't agree with it kind of way, but it like we were talking about something else. But yeah, I kind of like it slowly took me some time to like actually quote unquote like come out.
I feel like my mom, and like you guys can tell me if this was different, I'm kind of curious, but like my mom, and I kind of saw this with my brother because I have an older brother. I remember when my brother was in high school, I think she was trying to like preemptively think about those types of things, and so I remember her like wondering like, oh, like what if he's gay? And I'm like, Mom, he's not gay. And then like I remember my really good friend in high school and I, like, we were very close, and she was someone that I ended up having like a, I don't know, like a gay sexual experience with, whatever. But I remember her being like, oh, are you guys like more than friends in any way?
Sweet
and
Sandy.
At the time I was like, no, because in my mind I was like, no, she's my friend and she's just someone that I feel like comfortable enough to like explore these things with. But I just thought it was funny that like growing up she was like very preemptively thinking about it.
Oh, my mom was too. She would ask me like some of my close friends, like, I'm not a cuddler, but sometimes I will cuddle with them if that's how I know that they like, if they need a cuddle or that's how they show affection or anything like that. And my mom found that so weird and would like make comments after they left. And she goes, do you normally like are that close with your friends? And I was like, yeah. And, like, I don't see a problem with it, but they're definitely thinking about it whether we know it or not. Like,
and I think it's a generation thing too, because my mom said similar stuff. She just found like how close my friend and I were, and like not even just that friend but other friends. She like found it like odd.
Did she ever think like, we were dating?
I don't know. That was the only time she ever like asked me or like brought it up to me.
That's funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is my parents never asked me about anything like that.
Yeah.
Like they never were like, oh, are you guys just friends? Or like they never really asked me about who I was into.
Right.
I was also like obviously dating someone for 5 years from like when I was 16 to when I was 21, and like and then we broke up, and then I was dating another guy pretty much right after that. So like they only saw me with guys, and so
they never had time to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I like, and it wasn't until really after that point that I like, well, it was like between the main ex and my most recent ex that I like realized, no, like I'm like definitely officially bi.
Yeah.
And I
now you can like really think about it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I've told them, I was like, guys, like we were sitting and I was like, guys, like you do understand I am bisexual, right? Like you do understand that?
Yeah.
And my mom brushed it off, and she was like, well, that doesn't matter. Like, what do you think that matters to me? Because she was in education for 35 years. She saw everybody, like every kind of person. And so that was kind of upsetting to me, to not because I didn't feel accepted, but because I didn't like necessarily feel heard.
Yeah.
you know, because it was like a big moment for me to like officially address that with my parents and like say it out in the open. And like, not that I was worried they would reject me, but the fact that they were like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Was like hard. Because it does matter. It's like a part of who I am.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
if I bring home a woman, like, not that they would be shocked, but like I want them to like acknowledge that.
Yes. Yeah. I think, and knowing your mom, I think it was probably more of like she didn't want you to think that she thought it was a big deal.
Yeah.
In like a bad way. So she was trying to like make it a not big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway. So, and Elaina, you've been talking about this a lot, about privilege. So, and on the same topic, you know, stigmas in the community and people outside of the community. So do you guys remember some of the stigmas around like sexuality when you were growing up, and both like sexual identity and like sexual expression?
I remember, so I have been in theater pretty much my whole life, like since elementary school, pretty much. So I feel like I've always been exposed to those things, and my parents were always very like open and accepting. So there was never any like outright like homophobia or like weird things that were happening in like my close circle. But like I said earlier, like I think it's so ingrained in our society and the way that we are like provided messages through media and whatever, that it's like I said, by the time you get to like middle school and even sometimes like late elementary school, there's already kind of a stigma around it, and it's just used in like a negative way. And a lot of times like you'll hear about people coming out or trying to figure things out, and they get a lot of hate for it. So yeah, I don't know. And then it's also hard, and I kind of talked about this earlier, but again, I feel like it's more commonly accepted for like girls to do things with girls just because it's sexualized by men, than it is for guys to do things with other guys, or like any other type of combination. And so I think that kind of gives women like a little bit of an unfair advantage, because like myself, I was able to explore those things kind of out in the open, and I was able to talk about them and like tell other people about them and not really have to fear being like ostracized or teased or looked at differently, because I could be like, oh yeah, I'm straight, but like I still did this thing.
Yeah.
And like people would accept it.
And all the guys would be like, oh my God, that's so hot.
Right. And that like doesn't happen for other people.
No.
So yeah.
Well, I would say where I grew up was very privileged, and with that, like you guys were talking about like middle school, and like I look back, and in middle school no one would ever like wear something to define themselves, because they knew just like the like school, like the people in my school, you'd get bullied for it. It just would 100% like parents would find out, parents would get involved, and it just would go to another level that it didn't need to.
Right.
And now I like look back while my little sister's in high school, and it's so different. Like some of my good friends are bi and gay, and they couldn't come out until we entered college. Right. They all waited, if they knew it or they didn't. Like they just knew that because of like the people we were growing up with, like you were going to risk your popularity or your reputation just to define yourself. And back then, like how we grew up, that wasn't really important. Yeah. So it's like unfortunate, but it's also like looking back at my high school now, like they're making like neutral bathrooms, and like there are like girls dating girls in high school, and my sister tells me about it, and like I look back and I'm like, if that ever happened while I was in high school, those like I guess it's great, because I look back and I immediately think like they would be bullied, like all this stuff would be spread about them, and it's just like a terrible environment. So to hear that like people are coming out that early, and like also with all of their field trips now, they're having them introduce themselves with their pronouns. So people you don't actually have to define yourself with a label. It's more of how you want to be approached and spoken to, which I think is like a better way of looking at it at that age.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that's awesome, because like there is a good age difference between you and your sister, but it's not
It's only a
that
couple years, which is
right. Like it's
kind
really
of
not
insane.
that
It's only like 4 years.
right. So I
Mhm.
feel like that's crazy that there's been like that much change in such little time, and I
Yeah.
think that's great.
But
Yeah.
Shar, one of your best friends is gay. So like,
Mhm.
did he come out in high school or did he come out after?
He came out at his graduation party, and it was actually, he didn't have the opportunity to come out. Someone actually spread the rumor.
Someone outed him?
Yeah. It was,
God.
that's
so
my
shitty.
high school. That's how we grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of my friends are actually like, one of my good girlfriends is now, I don't know if she's gay or bi, I don't really care, but she's like in a happy relationship with a girl.
Yeah.
And it was weird for her because I think like everyone that I grew up with didn't confidently believe or realize that they were gay or bi until we got to college and realized that we were in an environment where it is okay to
Yeah.
be that. Because
Yeah.
where we grew up, it was not okay
Yeah.
to be identified like that.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even allow yourself to process it because
Mhm.
of the environment. Like, you're like, I don't even want to think about it because if I am, like, then I'm going to have to hide that or deal with
Yeah.
that or, like,
That's too much.
yeah. No, I can't, like, at that age especially. That's too much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, all right. My next question on the lighter side of things is, do you consider yourself a sexual person?
Yes.
Yes. Charlotte?
Charlotte, for a very not seriously, but like she started joking about whether or not she was asexual for a while, and I was like, Charlotte, I was like, you are not asexual.
Charlotte,
I was
have
like,
you
you talk
heard
about missing sex on a
so
daily
much?
basis.
You literally, the way you talk about, like, sex and dick and shit like that, like, you're not asexual. You're just, you have, like, kind of a hyper-focused mind, and you forget about, like, worldly pleasures when you're thinking about, like, school and tests. And then you come out of it and you're like, wow, I want to get dick down.
She thought about it though for a second.
I mean,
No, I would say I'm a sexual person, but like either with my close friends, I'll admit it, but I actually won't become that sexual person unless it's someone that I can feel I can open up to. If you just met me, I don't think you would.
No, you're not
You
like
wouldn't-
openly super sexual.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't see me and be like, oh yeah, she's gonna fucking
She
dick me
fucks.
down. Like, fuck yeah.
yeah, versus Elaina and I are, like, very openly sexual people.
You look at me and you say, she fucks.
She fucks. And Shar, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Elaina and I kind of brought Shar into this, like, more openness.
Oh yes, 100%.
How
They
did
have
you talk
introduced
about it
me-
before us?
How did I talk about it?
Did you talk about it?
Yeah, did you?
Oh, did I? Yeah, I would say. Well, no, I had to think about it for a minute because I don't think I talked about it as much as with you as I do now. I
Right.
talked about it with Emily. Like, I remember when Emily was considering doing anal, she would literally ask me for every detail about it because
Ugh.
yes, your girl's done it. So
You gotta get the information.
like I'm an open
Yes.
book. Like I'm only an open book if I'm asked about it and I trust you. I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, that's like I am sexual, but it's more along the lines as if I feel I can like open up to you on that level.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm very open to the point where you don't even have to ask. I just hand out information freely, and people are like, please stop. I'm
Yeah.
like, sorry.
I feel like I don't go around like telling people all of my sexual business, but I'm also not shy about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a little bit in between because it is a little bit more of like a, well, if you ask and you want to know, I will tell you literally anything you want to know.
Mhm.
But
So send in your
Um,
questions to
right.
babesandbaddecisions@gmail.com.
literally any question that, yeah, if you need the information, we got the information.
We do. And then take this how you will, and I can clarify if you guys need me to. But how do you express your sexuality, your sexual being?
So I think for me, a lot of it is through like presentation of myself, like my outfits, my body language.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I had very naturally, and I don't know if this is because of like dance or what, but I feel like I've had very like inherently sexual body language from a younger age than most.
What? What was it?
And I don't want to. That sounds bad, but
It was in high school. We were doing a show.
yeah,
And we were doing Cell Block Tango.
yeah,
And they had to they had to change a line that Elaina was saying because like not a superintendent, but an administrator, somebody walked in and they were like, that is too sexual. And they had to change it versus like, or too much versus another girl in our department, like in the same song was saying like ass or whatever. And they didn't have her change it. And I remember
sold
Elaina
it
was
too
like,
well.
She did. That's exactly what she said.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so if anyone knows it, I had the line where I said, "You're screwing the milkman," and I couldn't say "screwing the milkman." I had to say "sleeping with the milkman" because they didn't want me to say "screwing the milkman."
And I remember
so
we were
dumb.
like, you were kissing the milkman. You were making eyes at the milkman.
We had all these jokes, but yeah, I feel like my body language, my outfits, a lot of that's like my main medium of expressing my sexuality, I would
Yes.
say.
I don't think I aggressively present my sexuality in any shape
No.
or form. Like, I'm a very, like, you have to really get to know me to figure it out. And
Yeah.
I'm, like, okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Specifically when it comes to the dancing realm, that's where Elaina and Emily have taught me
I was
like,
just-
a lot.
Just thinking, I was like, if you walk into a club and you see me, Emily, and Charlotte,
It's
Emily
like,
and I will be
Or up on the
getting
pole.
down,
and I'll just do like a side step,
Yes.
like a shuffle.
literally.
Yeah, but I think when we go out, like the way you dress is like you can feel yourself. Like there's certain outfits, it's not like you're doing it for other people, but like that like you want to feel like hot and like attractive. And
Yeah.
then it's like certain environments where you're like, no, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna like wear this piece that like really accentuates this or that or whatever.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's not like you like present it daily.
Yes, daily, I would say you are not very sexual,
No, yeah.
but she brings it out when it's
No,
time.
it's there.
It
it's
is.
definitely
When the
like
time
some
is
of the
right.
things I say behind closed doors. Oi.
into a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or some of the things I've said that, or when we're responding to all my Tinder lovers out
Oh,
there.
yes.
Some of the things that I want to just start off the bat with, Elena's like, no, that's too much. You gotta hold back just a little
Like,
bit.
you gotta save that.
I
You
feel
gotta work up to it.
I feel like Shar kind of goes from 0 to 100 sometimes.
does.
Yeah, really though. Like it's there. It's
Yeah.
there.
Like Elaina and I sit at like the 60 to 100 range pretty
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte comes out of the woodwork really quickly and we're like, whoa. Okay.
Finally.
Hold her back.
I think that's all the questions because I realized I
Gosh,
put the
this
same
is a
questions
short
twice.
episode.
I don't think it'll be that short. To
And
be
right now we're at-
honest,
25 minutes. 27.
yeah, no, we'll be great
Okay.
because we still have your questions
My
or your game.
My gum.
I realized editing now that we do all of like we've been doing game music, so I'm gonna keep doing that.
Oh, no. Okay.
What are we doing today?
We're doing red light, green light.
Ooh.
Oh, I
Okay,
like that
so-
she's playing new games with us.
Yes. So basically, I'm going to list off like a trait you might find in a partner, physical something physical about them, and you would say red light, green light.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Red light means you'd be okay with it. I mean,
Nope.
Let me try again.
Colors?
One more time. Green means go. Red means no. Okay.
Good.
All right. Tattoos.
Oh, green light.
I'm
Like
not an
bright
aggressive
green light.
but yeah, sure.
So
green.
you're like a yellow.
I'm like, if there was a yellow in this game, yellow.
Let's do yellow light. Yellow, red, yellow, green.
Red leather, yellow
Try
leather.
to avoid yellow, but I'm a
Okay.
yellow for tattoos. Okay, facial piercings.
Oh, nose
I'm a
ring,
red
green
light.
light. Anything else? Probably red light.
No, red light.
I feel
I'm-
bad saying like yes or no, definitely, but I feel like I lean more towards red light.
Red light. Earring or earrings? I'm a green light.
Green light.
I'm a green light.
Rings. Red light.
Green
Mm.
light.
It depends on how many, but I'll go green light.
No, I'm red. Wears flip-flops instead of slides.
On a man, red light. On a woman, green light.
On a man, I'm a green light.
I don't have
Ew.
I really
Put your
don't
feet away.
care. No, I'm going to say yellow because for this, I really don't. I mean, obviously, if you're wearing flip-flops to, like, I don't know, like a dinner or something,
Yeah.
then, like, you need to stop and,
Like-
reevaluate your life. But, like, on a daily basis, if it's chill, and I think this is also because, like, we're in Florida and it's hot as fuck, it's fine.
No, if you're not at the beach, like, put your toes away, dudes. I'm sorry. That's like,
No, I like when a guy can wear flip-flops, man. Some guys, like, really can't wear
You got a toe
flip-flops,
thing?
so if you can wear
you got a
them.
toe thing?
Well, I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
also, like, I think, and we can cut this out because I feel like we're delving way too far into this topic,
Yes.
but I think there is also a difference between, like, having, like, not nice feet, but, like, feet you don't mind looking at, and then there's, like, some guys whose feet are just,
Rough.
yeah, it's like, maybe not wear flip-flops with those,
With those.
with those puppies.
Ooh.
Okay, next one. In a fraternity or sorority?
Oh, green light.
Green light.
I love a good
Oh.
frat star, and strat women are everything. So
I'm a okay, I feel like men more a red light, women more a green light, and that's probably problematic in some way, but that's just, yeah, that's how I feel.
that's just how I feel.
Right. No car.
Red light.
Red light.
Red light.
I was about to say green light, but no.
Like
Man
in-
bun / like long hair, like goes kind of to the shoulders.
Green light, as
Green
long
light.
as it's nice and you take care of it.
Ew, red
Yeah.
light. That's nasty.
I like something I can hold on to.
I'm the only one in this relationship that can have long
You
hair.
gotta pull his hair.
Ugh.
Charlotte hated that.
I hate that. It's like facial hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
I thought that was one of them. I was gonna go green light.
Green light, green light, green
I
light.
mean, we both know that you're both green lights and I'm red lights.
Yes.
Baseball hats.
Oh, green light
Green light.
Green light.
Yeah.
Headbands.
with
Green
a
light.
good flow. Hell yeah, green light.
If anyone
Red
knows my
light.
boyfriend, I have to say green
Oh,
light.
Red
true.
light. Oh my god.
That's funny.
Doesn't like movies.
Oh, red light. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, red light. Sorry,
Green
Charlotte.
light.
No, movies are everything.
Video game addict.
Okay.
So
what are you?
like-
What are we talking? Addict. Like into video games or like actually
No, like,
like
plays video games every day.
I mean,
red light.
Red light.
I'm fine with it. Green light. My main ex is very into video games, but it's not like it hindered his
Right.
life or like our relationship.
Well, and that's my thing. I'm like, like I really don't care if you're
Well,
into
your
video
boyfriend
games.
isn't he on his Switch like every day?
Not every day. Like not actually that often. He is right now because, you know,
'Cause
I'm
we're
in here.
busy.
Right. Like I actually enjoy like more like nerdy guys and like if you're into like video games and stuff like that. But if you're like actually addicted and it's like a problem, then no. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be a
I
yellow
fucking
light for
hate
that.
Video games. Doesn't drink.
I'm a yellow light on this. If they're one of those people that don't drink and are like gonna shame me for drinking or like don't ever want to go out like anywhere because they, you know, like if it's one of those things where it's like I know I'm gonna drink and have a good time with my friends, and
Yeah.
if you're gonna make me feel shitty the whole time, no.
Yeah.
But if it's one of those things where I don't drink but like I'm happy to go out and still have fun, or like, you know, then it's a DD always, and that
Yeah.
can be super fun. But
I agree with that, but also I feel like I might get a little bit tired of being drunk, like being the only drunk one. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, you go
Mhm.
out, you have fun with your friends, everyone's drunk, they drive you home, but then it's like just you and that person, and like
Yeah.
you're the only drunk one. Then I'd be like, oh, that's kind of sad.
then you call me and I come over.
It's like,
we'll be drunk together.
too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a hard red light.
No fun.
Unfortunately.
No fun.
Unfortunately. Smokes.
Smokes what?
Very important.
Because cigs is a hard red light. If you
Mhm.
smoke cigs, don't talk to me.
Yeah,
Okay, 6 could be one. All right, that's a hard red light for me
Smokes.
same.
The devil's
then-
lettuce legally,
too. The devil's lettuce. Yeah, legally. Yep. Mhm.
then green light. Because
Same.
I like the devil's lettuce legally.
Same.
Always legally. Is against smoking.
So what?
This is in reference to the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, no.
Probably a red light.
No. They're probably no
Sorry.
fun at parties.
Never had a serious relationship.
Elaina.
Well, I feel like if you had asked me a while ago, I probably would have said yellow to red, but I guess I'll go green because it's worked out pretty well so far.
I'd probably go
It depends, man.
Yellow.
It really depends.
My hesitation on that is I have seen friends, not Elaina, but I haven't it sounds
that
like
would be funny if she was like, I have this
friend.
cough, cough, Elaina.
No, I do want to, it's not Elaina, but I have a friend and she has been with her boyfriend for a while and she's the first serious relationship he's ever been in. So it's like I see a lot of attachment there that it's like, you need to live and learn from being in other relationships, and like she's been in a lot more serious ones.
Yeah.
So like there's that kind of disconnect of like realistic future plans for the both of them.
Yeah.
And so I know like I've been in one genuinely serious relationship, but like I've learned a lot from that. So I feel like it'd be hard to then like teach someone else that.
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about it. And like when we first started dating, I talked to you guys about it. I was like, guys, what do I do?
I feel like it's not a red light, but it's a red flag.
Yeah, it's definitely something that like if that's something you learn about someone, it take a pause and like think about it.
Yeah, that's something I would take slowly, and then it can cause some serious red flags.
Yeah.
So then
take it into consideration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not a large amount of friends.
That's a red
Green light.
light.
I'm fine with that.
That's a red light to me.
I just
because like, well, like the reason I say green light is like for me, like I'm not like I have a large amount of like friends, but like my actual like friend group and my circle has always historically been smaller, and that's just how I like it to be.
Yeah. Well, I take that not like because I have a smaller group of like really good friends, but I have a large group of friends.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a difference because you have a large group of friends. You just like especially with your personality type, you like pick and choose specific people to bring into that very inner circle.
Yeah.
Versus like someone with like not a huge group of friends in general, that'd be kind of a red flag for me because I
can agree with that.
am so friendly. I would need someone else to be on that same level.
So it's a red light from Emily. You guys are going way too into depth.
I have a lot to say, always.
Hey, it's a short episode. We'll be fine.
It is.
Really close with their family.
Oh, green light, baby.
Red light.
Really?
Mm-mm.
What?
So if he was like
you like to get them alone?
I don't want a
mama's
boy. Oh,
well,
fuck
there's
that.
a difference between being close to your family and being a mama's boy. Mama's
That's
boy
true.
is a red flag.
Yeah. Like the guy from Love Is Blind.
Like I want a good relationship, but not like that they're
What do you
coming
think?
over to our place every night.
I have a close relationship with my family. Do you think that's bad? Like if we were gonna date?
Emily's like, date me, please.
I know. I'm just begging over here.
No.
Because like I'm close with my family, but it's not like they come over every day. But like in the future, if I live close to my parents, they will probably be around a lot. So you wouldn't want that?
Mm-mm.
Not even if it's Sandy? You love Sandy and Frank.
Well, you can't put Sandy and Frank into this because I'm not dating you.
Well, now I'm
Damn
like
it.
torn because I'm kind of like I understand what you're saying, but like so
Like-
my boyfriend like he has a good relationship with his parents and his like he loves his parents. I also love his parents, but like they're not gonna be like he's not the type of person who's like I must live near my parents, you know, for the rest of my life. Like he's fine to move.
It's more
farther
along the
away.
lines as in my relationship, like you don't need to call them every day. You don't need to talk to them every day.
My mom
Okay.
calls me every day.
Yes, I
And I call my mom every day. I think
I'll
it's
sit
just
at a
how
yellow for this one.
I think it's just
at a
how I
red.
grew up. Like I'm just so used to that.
She's Italian.
I'm Italian. Yeah, so green.
Has close female friends.
Oh, green.
Green. It's depending.
It's like green, but you got to keep an eye on it.
Like
Right.
close, healthy
It depends.
friendships,
Right.
I think are great because you learn. Like my guy friends have learned so much from the girls in our group. Like I think it's a great teaching moment and can make them better in a relationship.
It depends 100%.
Talks to an ex or exes.
That can be a red flag.
I'm
I'm gonna lean towards red flag, and that might just be
red
me
light.
being PTSD
See,
from my last relationship.
Okay, you have to remember that it's lights, and then
Okay,
so,
red light.
My answer is like green light, but it could be a red flag in the future.
I kind of sit at a yellow, leaning towards red, because I know the amount that I talked to my ex, like, it would have been concerning for a potential new relationship, because I was definitely not over him.
Correct.
And so I saw that in myself, and now looking at like, yeah. So anyway,
I'm
sorry.
gonna say red, but again, probably just because I'm scarred. But that's fine.
Saying you're mine, or like I'm yours, like that kind of stuff.
If it's
Yellow.
in a sexual way.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, no, then
green.
that's good. We're good with
My
that.
God, y'all are overthinking this. It's a green light. Gives hickeys.
Green.
Charlotte.
Charlotte is a hard green.
Green.
She's like full speed ahead, baby.
I'm a child and I'm proud.
I'm a green.
That's
Has different hobbies than you.
Oh, green.
Green. Doesn't talk about his past much.
Red. I'd fucking delve.
I'm gonna say red.
I'm green because I always feel that there's probably a reason for that, and that he's choosing not to tell me.
Well, I mean, if it's
good
like right off the
reasons.
bat, then like that's fine. Like take your time. But like if we've been dating for a while and like you never talk about
They probably
your
murdered
past,
somebody.
then I'm like, why aren't you talking about it?
Yeah.
Because like I'll tell you anything. So
Well, this kind of goes into that. Then the next one is cheated on past ex, but decided not to tell you to start.
Oh,
they
red, baby.
decided. Can you let me finish?
no, red.
But decided not to tell you?
Yeah, so they could start on a clean plate, like a clean plate.
No,
Clean
I'd rather
slate.
you be upfront.
Red. Also, sorry, but if you cheated on your ex, then red.
Shout out to Elena's ex.
Just like
If you cheated on your
historically-
ex with me, red.
If you've cheated on your ex at all, like the chances are, yeah, I'm just not gonna waste my time. Sorry.
Constantly compliments you.
Oh, green.
Green, baby.
Red.
Hype me up.
I'm a Leo. Feed my narcissism.
Did we mention?
She's a Leo.
She's like Tinkerbell.
No, that's a nice red. Maroon.
Maroon.
Burgundy.
Like a moody
It's a nice
red.
Ron Burgundy there.
Hey, Emily, what's your favorite color?
Maroon.
Yeah, bitch. A big spender.
Ooh, green.
If he's got the money for it,
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
If he's in financial debt, if he's in
Red.
financial ruin, no thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's a green for me.
Or ma'am.
Yeah, if they have the money, then green. Spoil me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that's all I've got. I felt like
Those
That
were
was
fun.
good. I enjoyed that. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Babes and Bad Decisions and on Twitter at BABD Podcast. Email us at babesandbaddecisions@gmail.com. And you can now also find all of our episodes and videos on our YouTube channel. Just search Babes and Bad Decisions Podcast. If you like us and want to support us, please take the time to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/babesandbaddecisions. All right, Em, what's our outro for today?
Fuck.
that's it. Goodbye.
I said that like so in it, like, well, I was like, what's our outro for today? It's just, fuck.
Please
didn't
keep
study.
that in.
I wasn't prepared.
I don't know if this is good, but I'll try it out.
Okay.
Gay people in your high school?
No.
Oh. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Coming out in college, it's definitely gonna happen. It's absolutely gonna happen.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.